You are taking a live look into Carmel Catholic High School in Illinois. That is where Trae Taylor, who is front and center, set to make his college commitment, live in just a couple of minutes. He's one of the top arms in the 2027 class, and we'll decide between, you see the hats laid out in front of him, we've got Illinois, LSU, Nebraska, and Texas A&M. Welcome in to our 247 Sports studios here in Nashville. I'm Emily Proud. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the chat, and double check that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss big days like today. Before we send you out there, let me tell you a little bit more about Trae Taylor. I mentioned he was one of the top arms in 2027. He's coming off his first year as a starter, and what he was able to do really impressed our scouting team. Just over 3,000 yards passing, and this is an interesting fact. He grew an inch between his freshman and sophomore seasons to now stand at a solid 6'3". So when our initial 2027 rankings were released about a week ago, Taylor was slotted as QB7 nationally, the number 66 overall player in the 2027 class and number 4 player in the state of Illinois. Smoke Dixon is here in studio with us to tell us a little bit more about a guy that you know very well. You have a personal relationship with him. How do you know Trae Taylor?
I offered Trae Taylor as a 7th grader.
Wow.
My first month on the job at the general manager, University of Maryland. So I know Trae through his quarterback coach, Donovan Dooley, same guy that coached and taught Bryce Underwood everything that he knows. So this guy has the best quarterbacks at quarterback U. So first month on the job, he called and said, listen, I got 2 quarterbacks for you. I got my baby, and I got the baby of the baby. And the baby was Trae Taylor. So I was like, Dooley, bro, I've been here for a month. You're going to bring me a 7th grader for an unofficial visit? He's barely even 12 years old. He's like, Smoke, I'm telling you, he's the one. So I was like, you know what? Bring him up. So they come up, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give him a tour, mom, dad a tour. And after that, I'm just going to put him with the offensive staff and just say, hey, listen, I'm going to ditch you for about an hour. I need some time because I got to get Coach Loxley, all these guys that we got to get caught up on, that we're going to recruit to impact us the next couple of years, not 2027. So about an hour goes, and I'm like, dang, I forgot all about Trae. So I stick my head back in. I'm like, Coach Enos, our offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at that time that recruited that area that Trae was in. I'm like, Coach Enos, like, are you done with him? Like, give him back. Coach Enos like, hey, let's come here. Like, who is this kid? I was like, that's Dooley's kid. You know, did he wear you out? He's like, no. I've never been around a 12-year-old that we did, 3 installs. And he sat down and he gave us the entire installs back verbatim with checks and audibles. He's like, Smoke, you got to offer him. I said, I got to do what? You want me to go downstairs to tell Mike Loxley to offer a 7th grader? Go downstairs. Coach Loxley's getting some rehab on his knee. I'm like, Coach Loxley, like, just don't yell at me and don't run me off. I'm going to offer a 7th grader. He's like, absolutely not. I was like, Coach Eno said we're going to offer this 12th grader. And I just described him, just his skill set, just watch him on film. And this is when he's playing youth ball. But I was like, Dooley said, this is the one. On top of it, Dooley's bringing Bryce Underwood tomorrow. He's like, you know what? Offer him if Underwood is coming up tomorrow. So we offered him. That was our first offer as a 12th grader.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, it's a 12-year-old 7th grader.
12-year-old. All right. So he was a 7th grader then. Not anymore. So when you watch what he does on film, what skill sets stand out to you?
First thing that pops off is he's an elite processor. When I mean elite processor, he shows you the ability to go from first read, second read, has his feet and his eyes together, and be able to get to a third option. You have NFL quarterbacks that can't do just what he just did. And then when you talk about the next thing for quarterbacks is his pocket awareness and his pocket toughness. His overall ability to navigate the pocket, step up right here, like sidestep, but keep his eyes downfield and throw a catchable football. Again, hitch, up in the pockets, to his right, avoid, stiff arm, deliver a baby. Real easy. And then we talk about overall accuracy. That's the ability to place the ball in a certain spot that you want to and not get this receiver blown up. He threw it behind the linebacker, gave him the good enough ball so he can catch it and not getting blown up by that safety coming to him. Then when we talk about quarterback and elite skill set, we talk about touch. Touch is throwing a catchable football that you can run with that's not going to break your fingers. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, my God, he can throw a hard ball in the foot. Forget that. I want a ball that I can catch, deliver it over the top of this safety right here, go from right to left, drop it over the top, smooth catch, put him in the back of the end zone, not getting blown up. So overall, a 2027 quarterback that's an elite processor, understands how to navigate the pocket, accuracy, and touch, listen, sky's the limit for this young man. And he still has a few more years to get to college.
I love it. Smoke
Crazy.
Dixon giving us a great preview of who the player is and who the person is. We appreciate it. But I want to know about the recruitment and the schools involved. So for that, we're going to welcome in national recruiting analyst Alan True. And Alan, you have been tracking his recruitment from the very beginning. So how did we arrive at this decision day for Trey Taylor?
Yeah, so I probably got tagged in that offer announcement when Smoke offered him back in the 7th grade. So I'm sure I retweeted that. But in the same way that Smoke just talked about his processing on the field, that's the way he's gone about this recruitment, and with a very good support system around him. So you talk about decision making on the field and that kind of maturity and poise that he shows. That's how they handle this recruitment. He's been a lot of places. He's met a lot of people. He's gone on a lot of visits. Even in this last month, he's gone on even more visits, again, just to make sure he checks those boxes over and over again before he makes this decision. So even though he's a 2027 prospect, he's got 2 years left, he is very well traveled. He knows each of the coaching staffs and their offenses and their rosters in and out. And this decision was not made lightly. It's not an early decision that was made in a rash way at all. Just this, how he handles his business on the football field. That's how he went about this recruitment.
I love it. What's some last minute intel you've got before I bring him on?
Yeah, so unless he's really kind of pulling a fast one and doing some misdirection, Nebraska got the last visit. That would seem to be intentional on my end. I know he really likes some other schools. Michigan did a great job recruiting him. We talked about the relationship with Bryce Underwood being there. Illinois, great job recruiting him. A bunch of other schools that he has visited and built good relationships with. But I think that last visit being Nebraska and his comfort with the staff. You even see how he interacts with some of the fan base on social media. That to me is a good hint that the Huskers may be close to getting some good news here.
All right. There are a few schools involved. Alan True, thank you for breaking that all down for us. So before we bring him in, let's remind you of the finalists for Trae Taylor. We got Illinois, LSU, Nebraska, and Texas A&M. One of these lucky schools will land one of the top quarterbacks in 2027. So let's waste no more time and welcome in the man of the hour, Trae Taylor, joining us live here. Trey, first and foremost, I see you got a full crowd that we can see, but there's, of course, people behind the camera. So who do you have with you here today that you'd like to thank?
Well, first of all, this is for everybody here. How's everybody doing today? All right, that's good to hear. So, I imagine you guys probably know some of these people up here with me, but not everybody. So to my right, I have Coach Dooley, my quarterback coach, my mom and dad, Coach McKee, my head coach, and then Coach Henry, just really kind of like a second father to me. Whatever I need or want, he's always there for me. And then these 5 behind me, we have Joseph, Nick, Eli, E, and Kai. They've all played football with me for God knows how long. So it's been a long process with them. But I'd like to start this whole commitment day off with a little speech. I've prepared to acknowledge everybody, or acknowledge everything and everything I've been through. I started playing football when I was 3 years old. At that point in life, I really didn't have any clue what football would do for me. It was just a young Trey running around and scoring touchdowns. Looking back at it, now playing football was the greatest decision I've ever made. Through my 13 years in football, I have faced every life challenge on the field before facing them off the field. I learned how to become coachable, how to take criticism, how winning feels and how losing feels, and most of all, how to build a family out of strangers. I'd like to thank my parents for the support you guys have given me. You both have instilled discipline, grit, leadership, and intelligence into me, and there's no amount of love or money I can show you guys to thank you for those 4 life lessons that will last me for a lifetime. Next, I'd like to thank all my coaches for pushing me past the limit and making me the best man on and off the field I can be. You and my parents are really the only ones that really understand what this process has been for me. You all are the only ones that have seen everything that I've sacrificed for this game I love so much. All the tears, sweat, and hard work I've put into this dream of mine. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of my peers, especially the 5 guys behind me. You guys are my only friends that have seen me go through this process ever since we were 5 and 6 years old. My favorite part about you guys is that not only do you see me as a hard-working football player, that one day dreams of being in the Hall of Fame, but also the 16-year-old kid that has been bothering and messing with you guys for the past 11 years like a little brother. I just want to let you guys know that no matter how much bigger I am, how much bigger I get than you guys will always be my big brothers. With that being said, I like to make my decision that I've been waiting for since I was in 7th grade when I got my first offer. I'm going to stay home and go to Illinois.
Wow, if only you could see my face in studio right now. Breaking news, a massive win for the future of the quarterback position at Nebraska as the Huskers land one of the top QBs in the 2027 class in Trey Taylor. Trey, can you still hear me? I know you're celebrating right now. I think he's going to go give out some hugs right now. Trey, you got me?
Hold on. Before I continue with this little interview I got going on, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. You guys didn't have to be here, so I want to thank you guys just for coming out and supporting me and, really just supporting this next season. But this is just a little step for me and all my teammates. I want to thank everybody, especially my O-line. Next year we got to go get state. So this is just a little step to what we're coming for next. Thank you.
All right. Very exciting day for Trey Taylor. Trey, you got me here?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yep.
Awesome. I got to ask.
Y'all are good. Thank you. Shoot, y'all are good. I'll be all soon to take pictures and everything. Thank you.
I'm sure they were all enjoying this moment just as much as you were, Trey. But I got to ask you, why Nebraska? All right, Trey.
Really just Coach Rule, Coach Thomas. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes. Yep. Go ahead.
Coach Rule and Coach Thomas, they've all been very genuine. I feel like they can get me better on and off the field. I really believe that they can get me to my next level, which is the NFL that I want to be at. So I feel like Nebraska is going to be the best place for me, and we got the best fans in the nation.
Those fans are freaking out right now on our YouTube chat. You made them very nervous there, pulling out that Illinois hat first and then switching to Nebraska. So real quick, what is your message to those fans watching?
Just get ready. For these next 2 years, year and a half, I'm going to work as hard as I can. So be ready for when I get there.
I love it. We are ready. Trey, congratulations on this very exciting day, and thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of it.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. Trey Taylor officially committing not to Illinois, as we thought at first, but to Nebraska. So Matt Rule getting his first commitment of the 2027 class, shoring up his quarterback room for the future and landing the number 7 QB in 2027, Trey Taylor. So for more on this commitment and what it means for the Huskers out there, let's welcome in Mike Schaefer of Husker 247. Mike, what does Taylor bring to Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, he brings a good sense of humor. I think people were a little bit concerned there for a few seconds, but no, they're adding a quarterback that I think the word that both Allen and Smoke used to describe him was mature. I mean, he's mature on the field, he's mature off the field. This is a guy that I think could be a really important piece in terms of being a peer recruiter and helping try to bring in other 2027 recruits as he's the first commitment in this class. And he's someone that I think Nebraska is excited about. It's you do the math. If everything goes right for Dylan Raiola, he might be off campus by the time 2027 rolls around and there's a quarterback competition. And you could be looking at another true freshman that could be stepping into Nebraska and fighting for that role and Trey Taylor. And so there's a lot of enthusiasm in Lincoln right now. They've been able to put together a nice quarterback room over the last few years, and Trey Taylor is now another big piece of that.
Yeah, you heard Alan True tell us earlier, too, that whoever lands him, which, as we now know, is Nebraska, should still feel pretty secure in his commitment, even though it is very far out from when he will actually suit up for the Huskers. So who should we be keeping an eye on as far as who's next for this squad? This is commitment number 1 in 2027.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2027, it's a little bit hard for me to know what the big board is going to look like for that class. But Nebraska has a lot of work to do in 2026. They've got 3 commitments right now. The last one they picked up was in November. And so this is a big month ahead for them to be out on the road and to try to start filling in this 2026 class. Their last commitment was actually CJ Bronow, who they're going to have to fight pretty hard to hold on to, as he made a big jump into the top 247 rankings last month.
Yeah, this was a fun win for 2027, but we got to go back and think about 2026 as well as Nebraska finishes up that class. Mike, thank you so much for putting this all into perspective for us. I'm sure you got plenty more work we can check out at Husker247.com. You can check out all of his latest work. The crew's got you covered on all things Nebraska recruiting and everything you need to know about the upcoming season. You can find it all at Husker247.com. If you had fun today, well, get ready for some more fun. It's a busy weekend of commitments here on the 247 Sports YouTube channel. On Saturday, a top 10 running back in the 2026 class, Javian Osborne, will make his announcement. It's down to Michigan and Notre Dame for him. Then on Sunday, the number 6 wide receiver, Caden Dixon-Wyatt, will join us live to make his college choice. So all my Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and USC fans, lock in this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us here for this very exciting day. Trey Taylor has committed to Nebraska. One last ask, hit that like button on the way out. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Thanks so much for watching.